Hi everybody, welcome to this yoga class. My name is Basanti. Thank you for joining me. We're starting seated today in Shukrasana in the happy pose or easy pose. And make sure that you're comfortable and that you can sort of straighten the spine enough to feel yourself breathe into the whole front of the body and the back as well. Because as we know, we're not just breathing into this part. We close the eyes, we put a smile on our face. Yes, we do. I can check. And then we'll take a long breath in. Nice and gentle, long breath. And we gently sigh out. Same, but with your mouth closed and a little sound. And one more time in which you try to breathe into the stomach first and then into all the other parts of the upper body. And we start dropping our ears from side to side, from one shoulder to the next. And if you think you're already going slowly, go even more slowly now. Shoulders stay dropped. And then start dropping the chin from one collarbone to the other and raising the head a little bit. So this is starting to become a little bit of a half circle, a mini half circle, also known as a quarter circle. I'm going to stop talking now. I've only just started. This is not a good start, is it? And we may now take this into a full half circle, either guiding the ears towards the shoulders and the chin up, or letting the chin guide the way from side to side. And this is completely up to you. As you know, and this is your first class with me, I'm a big fan of adapting things to fit your body and the way you're feeling today. So if from here you might want to come into a full circle, you could do that too. But you might also find that that is not for you. So comfortable, intuitive movements, and see me as your guide rather than someone who knows best, because I really don't. And then from here, drop your left ear to the left shoulder. So as we did before, but this time we'll stay. Maybe bringing the left hand on top of the head. And then we send the right arm away from us. We can walk the fingertips to the side first, but then raise that hand, reaching towards the corner of the room, the bottom corner. And then start moving into your fingers and into your wrist. Maybe opening and closing a fist, maybe spreading the fingers wide and focusing more on the wrist and how we can widen that to moving into the whole of the arm and into the shoulder. And again, you do what feels good for you. Some of us will need more, some of us will need less, whether that goes for how deep we go or whether that goes for if we're focusing on the smaller or the bigger muscles. And then we bring both hands behind the head and press the chin down to the chest. And from here, guide your right ear to the right shoulder, maybe with the right hand on the head, but that's optional. And then walk your left hand to the side until the fingers can't go any further. Then you're raising the hand, but just above the ground, so stay quite low. Spread your fingers, move your fingers, and start moving into your wrist. And lots of freedom here as to what exactly you can do, you want to do. Maybe you want to focus on the whole arm and go into the shoulder. Maybe you want to stick with that focus on just the fingers. And we release and bring the chin to the chest. This time the hands are just on the knees or dropped wherever else is comfortable. And we start rounding from the shoulders that come forwards all the way down. So pushing the mid-back towards the back, taking the head further and further down. And we slowly come back up and bring the outer foot in towards us. So still sitting in Shukrasana, but the other side. Eyes can be closed. And we roll gently into the shoulders, tiny little movements. We stay soft as they become bigger. We shrug the shoulders. And we slow down those shoulder rolls and make them even bigger. Squeezing the shoulder blades at the back. Maybe the hands move a little bit on the knees. But if they're not on the knees, that's fine as well. So again, not prescriptive. And we drop the head and reach the arms to the front. Round your back. Pull your left wrist to the right side. And pull your right wrist to the left side. Back to center, and we come back up. And we're going to increase, well, actually it's totally up to you. You can stay where you are, but you can bring one top of the foot on top of your opposite thigh. See if that's comfortable. Also needs to be comfortable for the knees. So anything that doesn't work, just adapt. And then we're going to inhale and raise the arms and raise the head. Exhale, push the elbows down and drop the head. And even though we're raising the head and lowering the head, we can do this with the eyes closed as well if we prefer. And I've pointed out the breath, but that doesn't mean that you need to guide it. It's more of an awareness that we're going for, remembering that natural, the basic yogic breath is really something that shouldn't require effort, that is gentle and light, doesn't move the hairs in your nostrils, and doesn't make a sound. I think that's worth remembering when there's so much importance and so much talk placed on the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, that quite loud breath. It's quite showy, and maybe that's why, just like postures as well, get much more attention than the rest of this vast world that yoga is. Next time you push the elbows down, stay and keep this shape here of the arms as you roll into the shoulders again. And then we press the shoulders and elbows and hands to the back and we hold. We make sure the neck is not implicated in that. So if you feel like you're tensing up the neck, don't. You could drop the chin to make sure you don't. But sometimes just awareness of us not wanting to do that, awareness of the neck is enough. Warming up a little bit here, yes. Good. Inhale, raise the arms. And if you have space, exhale, float the arms down. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, float the arms down. And we keep going. Head can go up and drop. And release. We change sides again. So if you were sitting in Shukrasana, don't worry at all. If not, and you had the top of one foot on the opposite thigh, then change sides now. One side will always feel different to the other. If one side is uncomfortable, don't do it. Just try the other side, see how it goes, and if it doesn't work, adapt. And then make sure the neck is comfortable. Bring your right hand to the ground, press it into the ground. And then bring your left hand to the back of the head and guide your chin towards your armpit or collarbone. So into a diagonal position in which we'll hold and make sure we keep the breath comfortable and steady and the jaw relaxed. And we change sides, pressing the left hand into the ground, guiding the chin towards the right collarbone or armpit. And release. We're going to stretch our legs to the front and then bring the left foot to your outside, so to your butt cheek, and the right knee drops. We flex the right foot and we reach the arms up high and come forwards. Nice long breaths. And then we release. And this is going to be, because it's still our warm-up, quite difficult. So don't worry how low you get. Yes, some of us can come all the way down. But the idea is that we're warming up gently into the back of the leg here. So don't overdo this at all. Good. Slowly come up and change sides. Left foot to the front, right foot to the right buttock with the knee just dropping down. We flex the left foot, we breathe in and raise the arms, and we breathe out and come forwards. So arms high, you'll feel this slightly differently here in the back of the leg. So whole posterior chain, we release, and that might actually relieve a little bit of that strain on the hamstring. Remember, you don't have to come all the way down. This feels good for me. It might not feel good for you. And we slowly come up. Legs go to the back while the hands go to the front. And we come onto all fours into Bharmanasana. Spread your fingers, as always, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders, and we lengthen the arms and spread the shoulder blades apart. We drop our head and round the back. We take a nice long breath in. And very unrushed, we exhale here through the nose rather than the mouth. And then we breathe in and arch the back. Stay here too. And some of you might go a little bit further, raising the head a little bit more, but it's okay to also look down. So make sure the neck is comfortable. And on an exhale, round your back, drop the head. And we'll adapt this a little bit. Inhale, hips to the right side as you arch. And exhale, back to center as you round. And you may have guessed, inhale, hips to the left side as you arch. And exhale, round. And we keep going like that. Find your own rhythm. Slow breaths in and out. And remember, breath can be a very long thing, can be super short. We can hyperventilate and make them really, really short, but we wouldn't, not here. And equally, we don't have to artificially slow the breath down more and more. This should be a natural process for you. You should feel comfortable and relaxed. And on the next inhale, arch into the center, unless you need to even out sides. And then exhale, tuck your toes under, raise the knees, and shift your weight forwards and back. And then all the way up with the hips and into Parvadasana, mountain pose. And yes, it's okay to call this downward dog, but it's also okay to call it mountain. Raise the right leg high, point the toes. Push your shoulders to the back. Move into all of your toes. And then into your ankle. And drop your heel as you flex the foot and push the knee up towards the ceiling. From here, slide that left foot out and raise your right arm, grab hold of the right ankle. Keep your head dropped. I can't see you, but very often, because it's easier to look to the front, this is what we naturally do, so make sure the head stays dropped. Hand comes back down, we step to the front, we drop our hips and send that left foot further back if we want to, sinking nice and low, and we raise the right arm and look up to the ceiling if that's comfortable for the neck. We slide into a side plank from here. Feel free to make this a half side plank with your lower leg coming to the ground or also your forearm coming to the ground. And we come down into a full plank. Hold this or drop your knees to the ground. Now Chaturanga Dandasana, and maybe your first one is with the knees on the ground here, completely fine to do. And then release, we'll come into Raj Kapotasana. So buttocks, what am I saying? Pubic bone in touch with the ground, rising only as high as you want. So what feels good in your back? Remembering to push the shoulders down and elbows in. So arms are bent. Now we're straightening the arms, pushing back up, dropping the head and raising the left leg. Again, a little bit of movement into all of your toes and then into the ankle. And then flex and drop the heel. Oops. Palm in the way. We slide the right heel out, and obviously this is optional, so you can test the waters by just bringing the left hand a little bit further in. Make sure again, as on the other side, the head is dropped. We're not looking to the front, and we grab hold of the left ankle. So crucially, that foot is still flexed. And then hand comes down. We step to the front. And we sink the hips down. We might slide that right foot further back or step it further back. And we breathe in and raise the left arm, maybe looking down, maybe looking to the side or up. Remember that what we want to do when we're staying and holding postures for a long time is really be here. It's easy enough to let the mind wander elsewhere. The posture is there for you to give that little bit of a challenge, an incentive, something that makes it easier for you to stay here and be focused on the body. And we want to also make sure that as we hold positions for a long time, that works for the whole of the body. So for example, the neck, is it comfortable here or do we need to look elsewhere? But also, does this work for your breath? So always aware of the breath. Again, we don't need to guide it. We just need to be aware that it's doing something that's very natural. And from here we slide into a side plank. Again, any variation could also be, so Kashyapasana and Vasishthasana, if you want to bring the left foot onto the right inner thigh, for example. But all of the easier versions here, the gentler versions, are also completely fine. Again, remembering mouth closed, the breath should be comfortable, steady, natural, unlabeled. And release into a plank. And of course you have the option here as well to bring the knees to the ground and then keep them on the ground as you come into a half variation of that Chaturanga Dandasana. So 4 limbs, or in your case then if the knees are on the ground, 6 limbs or 6 parts of the body. So coming down again, don't force anything. Keep holding here and give yourself the option to change something if it gets uncomfortable. And then from here we come into upward dog this time. Arms long, legs long, but legs off the ground. So just the hands and feet, tops of the feet on the ground. And then from here, push yourself up. And we come into child's pose. Arms to the side of the body so we can relax the shoulders a little bit. Turn your head to the right side. And turn your head to the left side. And the shoulders drop a little bit more. Can you let go of just a little bit more tension, control?